Brighter.
Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Luke's Seafood and Grill in Davie.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. It's another road show. It's another seafood fest. And sitting in today for the absent Jeff DeForest. I'm not going to say AWOL because we did give him permission. Yeah. And we brought in from the bullpen today, right around the corner here, Davie resident, and we're here at Luke's Seafood and Grill in Davie. With our man Luke is going to be joining us in a second. But Tony Segreto, welcome.
I'm excited to be here. I'm so excited to be here. I've heard you talk about this place a million times. I just met Luke. He's a prince of a man, and I met his wife,
Roxy, the great Roxy.
Yeah, and she's sweet as can be. And so I'm waiting to be fed.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that, you hadn't made your way in here with your lovely wife at some point for a nice dinner, because this place, it's everything I love about a restaurant, because I'm not into the glitzy, high-end design, and I just like no frills. Give me good food, baby, good quality ingredients. Give me friendly faces, and the motto here is right on the wall that you can't see on camera, but I can see it. It says good food, good mood.
I love that.
And that's really some good words to live by.
My wife is the same exact way. She doesn't want any glitz, any glamour. She wants it to be in her zip code, which is
right. That's funny. Well, then this is by you guys.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that we could finally have a meeting of the minds. Luke is going to be joining us in a second. Had some of a little bit of a late lunch crowd, so he's doing a little bit of cooking and preparing some dishes, especially for the guest of honor. Luke, of course, a huge South Florida sports fan. South Florida, born and raised.
Yeah, he's like me, but a little bit older.
And a huge Canes fan, huge Dolphins fan. And luckily, all the knives are still intact here. None of them have been plunged into any body parts because the Dolphins salvaged their season, and the Canes are not, they're still in the hunt, even after the first loss. So
I was asked today by Defo on the air, how is it that the Hurricanes are 7-8-1, and Clemson's got the same record, and they're like 10 spots higher than Clemson?
And they shouldn't be, considering the quality of their opponents and the way they've won.
Clemson
by
has 2 losses on
their
the season,
chin. However, if Clemson's got one more loss, it's all going to sort itself out in the end, because conference champions end up going and getting those buys. But we're going to talk sports with Luke in a second. First of all, while we're waiting for the food to get out here, a couple of things I just want to talk about. Number one, do you know what the frim sauce is? Because I could go into a whole dissertation.
You're going to do that all the time.
I'm going to do that again.
I want to hear.
We actually have a
it's
definition.
the opening jingle, and you sit here every day and you don't even hear it anymore, but. Yesterday we had spent some quality time with our man Eddie Pozzoli, whose family and he is opening up a new restaurant, Coral Springs, called Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian, and it's the former spot of Tavolino della Notte. I don't know if you've ever been there. Yes. It was a renowned place, and his family then sold it, and then it went out of business. Now they're reclaiming it, but rebranding it. But at the start of the show yesterday, Eddie was just like, he listened to the jingle and he goes, "What's chafafa?"
Yeah, what is chafafa?
We had no answer.
And I started just doing my typical making something up, but making it sound authoritative, and then people believe you. Gets a long way in this country, by the way. But
wait a second, Lubie. Why don't you say hello?
Oh,
I'm here.
People can hear you.
Yes,
I'm here.
No.
Why would Luke's going to come? So I'm going to let Luke jump on.
The silent partner, the face for
I'm
radio.
not that silent, to be really honest.
He's drinking his Jamesons. He's drinking spirits in a can. Whiskey in a can is something that I think my
Roxy turned me on to it. So
grandmother warned me about.
I will have to say it's actually pretty good. But yes,
so what is
my grandmother said? Don't ever play pool against a guy named Fats. Don't ever buy pork from a truck, and don't ever drink whiskey in a can. So.
Don't ever drink whiskey in a can.
Yeah. So, but he's doing it. Lubie is here, and so I
What's-
wanted to
what's
talk about
Shabbat?
before we get Luke and this great seafood fest going. I just want to tell the audience that, and I posted about this on the Let's Eat
Oh, you did
group
actually
already.
post it?
Peter's Pizzeria opened its Pompano Beach location. Now he's had this small little shop in Boca for the past two and a half years. He's a prince of a guy. Grew up in Long Island, and he worked at Umberto's of Long Island, learning the whole pizza craft there. His family also, I think, was involved in restaurants up in New York, Long Island. But he moved down here a few years ago. He was on The Bachelorette for one season, but
Was he?
he doesn't want to talk about
He doesn't like
that
talking about that at all.
That's
Because they made
something
him
in
like
his-
the jerk.
That's something
He's actually a good
in
dude.
his past. He's a really good dude, and they turned him into the villain and the heel and all that stuff. But really smooth operator. He's passionate about his craft of pizza, and it's good to see them open. And they're going to be open there, right across from Galuppi's on Federal Highway 11. I believe it's 1166 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. It opened at 11. I thought I was going for the ribbon cutting. Apparently, they moved that, and nobody told me. I'm always the last to know. So the ribbon cutting is going to be later today with all the luminaries and dignitaries. And
Thank you.
apparently, after seeing me do a big bite, I no longer fit into that category.
Thank
But
God you stopped that.
5:30 p.m. Peter's Pizzeria, the ribbon cutting grand opening. But man, it's like going back to some of the great pizza joints of my youth, where they have just an incredible array of different styles of pies. They got the Sicilian, they got the grandma, they got the round, they've got the Brooklyn style round.
Where's this located?
So 1166 North Federal in Pompano. It's right across from the Air Park in Galuppi's and the tennis center there.
It's what, north of Atlantic, right?
North of Atlantic, just 12 blocks north of Atlantic.
It's
And
like right
we
by-
wish
it's close
Peter
enough.
well. We did a preview show with him last week.
Yep.
And let me tell you, I think they fired up the ovens. They did thousands of test pies last week, donated them to churches and
Yes.
other needy folks.
That is so important.
Oh yeah.
Even after they test it, they are,
Yeah, no, he's striving for the consistency and the quality and all the good stuff. So we wish Peter well. They'll be open 6 days a week, closed Mondays, just like this man here, Luke.
I got
And we are now joined by the man of the moment, the chef, owner, exquisite, extraordinaire, seafood savant, Luke. Welcome back to the Lunchbox. I can't believe another month is gone in the books, but look who we brought with us this time.
My man, I grew up watching.
Yeah. Oh, let's get
All
the
the
mic
time.
in here.
There
There
we
we go. Yeah, let's talk some memories, because you were talking when you met him, and he is a Davie resident, and Tony will be in here
yes, I'll
hopefully
be in here.
frequently.
Hopefully soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you grew up watching him.
Grew up
on-
watching them do sportscasts, on the late evening, watching my beloved Dolphins. I was telling him I had to time it between him, Channel 7, Channel 10, Channel 6, because they all came out at different times so I could watch the highlights. Not the lowlights, just the highlights.
No, and the thing is, I came here in '89, a Cub reporter, 23 years old, covering some Dolphins football. But I met Tony. The TV guy. It's funny because coming from the Northeast, I worked in Boston at the Globe for a while, and I grew up in New York. And it was like always this really like, what's the word? Just not a good relationship between print and TV
Antagonistic.
media. Antagonistic. Thank you, Tony, for
You're welcome.
rescuing
That's
me.
why he's the TV guy.
That's why he's the TV. He's got all the good words. But down here, everybody seemed to get along. And Tony, he was just so nice to me, just like Don Shula. No, Tony was
Tony
very,
was
You know
very.
nice.
what?
too. Sure
I
wasn't I?
had such respect for the print media that
And we could tell back then the broadcast guys in this town, when they had full staffs, 5 people strong of full-time sports staffers, they were dedicated journalists who had good sources, and we respected them too. So anyway, it's a big love fest here, but it was great watching Tony and Ned Smith and I guess Joe Rose and
Rose,
Hank
yeah.
Goldberg.
Jim Barry.
Well, now on the other channels it was Jim Barry,
Like
and then you had Steve Shapiro on Channel
Shapiro.
7 along with Mike. But back in the glory days.
down here, growing up in those days, like for me, early 90s when the Dolphins were actually competitive and good.
yes,
Like in those Marino years, like
Right.
you watch all these guys growing
Yep,
up. And,
yep.
Like it's a highlight day in my life right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
Pretty
it's,
cool.
it's good. Yeah, Tony.
well, it's a
again,
pleasure to meet you. I have heard all about your food from everybody,
and especially on the Let's Eat group, and
especially on the Let's Eat group.
Yeah, they've been all over, which is amazing.
Love those guys.
Yeah,
So-
most
so-
of them. Man.
So you serve every night
they're
but
good to him.
Monday.
Yeah, right.
Monday, Sunday, we close at 4 for now. So every night we're here Tuesday through Saturday. Lunch.
Why do you close at 4?
Because we get so beat up on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I got to go home and
That's
watch
Well, he
not
watches the
enough answer.
Dolphins. He likes watching the
The
Dolphins.
truth is, I got to go watch the Dolphin game that I probably missed that one because I'm cooking.
Do you tape them? Because you do have
Yes.
a TV in here, and I don't know if you sneak a peek or
I
all that.
try to,
Yeah.
but for example, like on Monday, I didn't get to watch the game because we had a really nice lunch on Sunday, so I didn't get to watch the game on Sunday. So instead of watching the crappy Cowboys on Monday night, I rewatched the Dolphin game.
There you go.
So that's better for the soul. So again, it's open 6 days a week. Really good place for just no frills, beautiful quality
This
ingredients,
looks delicious.
seafood. I came in here for a long overdue meal with Val this past Saturday
Yes.
for a late lunch,
Oh, nice.
and
We didn't
You
even
blew
know
us
who he
away.
was.
Oh, he just like showed up.
Yeah.
He didn't text you.
I
Wait,
know.
wait,
He was with Val.
wait, but there wasn't. Oh, so that's actually interesting. This is something we quiz him on, and I'll go to you directly.
Okay.
You did not look at your phone and get hey, I'm gonna come by later. No message.
we call it the bat signal, and I did not send out a bat
And
signal.
we talked about that. Sometimes we like to go in incognito,
right.
So
Well, he doesn't. No, that's the problem. Is we make fun of him because he doesn't. He's always like, oh, I'll be there by like 5 something. I'll see you, Joe.
I'm getting better with that. And for example, I'm going someplace tonight where I did not send out any bat signals. I've just put my reservation in through an online platform using my real name and profile. And if they look over the books, they'll see that I'm coming in. But I'm not. I'm better. I'm not sending out the bat signal.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you're
Hey.
going somewhere and like it might be packed. It might be this. You
yeah,
just
you
wanna,
want to get.
hey,
Yeah, on a
Okay.
Saturday
Coming in,
at 8
you might have
o'clock,
a
I'm
two.
saying, hey, I'm coming.
Exactly.
No,
As
I
you
don't
should.
do that. I don't even go out on Saturday nights anymore.
You're a
We do
smart
it
man.
like we do the late lunches now. As I've grown older, I don't know, is this the same with you, Tony? Do you feel like you've grown wiser? Because I feel like I do.
I've grown wiser, but there's one thing I have to do. I insist on having a sit-down dinner
Mhm.
with my wife or with my kids every night.
Interesting. Every night.
That was growing up. That was when,
we don't-
when there was
I
a
grew up
family
that
unit.
way.
Yeah.
My father came home at 5 o'clock from work. We sat down and had dinner.
Yeah.
So I want to carry on that,
The tradition.
No,
that
no, and
tradition.
that's funny how you talk about things that get ingrained with
Yeah.
you. And I was similar. And then, but life goes
Life
on. You
happens,
go off to
yeah.
college and then you end up getting independent. You move to different cities. But that's something, I tried to do as a, divorced dad, single parent. I still would try to get together before she went to college. But when she was high school, middle school, we'll get together with my daughter and her mom every Sunday for dinner and just kind of have that little cohesive, whereas, a family, even though we might not be married anymore, you could still talk about
still have
family
that bond.
issues, and that's, I think, very important. But anyway, point is, this is a place you can come in and actually have a family meal and a conversation.
Yes.
It's not blaring
What do
noise.
we have here today?
Yes. We have Mike Mayo's jambalaya because
Mm.
that's his favorite
That
thing. Whenever we come
jambalaya
in, he
is-
has one.
fantastic.
What do you think, Tony? He's speechless. Flavor bomb, right?
It's so good.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a kick,
It got
but
a
it
little
doesn't
bit of
overwhelm.
overwhelming.
The hot sausage, the andouille that we put in there, but it's not overwhelming. It's not something that's just gonna burn your palate. It's very delicious.
And
I
one
just
one
like
a
to say
word
flavor.
that I love, because Tony helped me out with antagonistic, but a word that I love is suffused. And this jambalaya uses
that.
rice that's suffused with like broth and
Yes.
flavor and the base, and
Yes.
it soaks it all up.
Where did you learn how to cook?
Well, I started cooking with my mom when I was 5.
Oh, really?
Yes, when I was like 5 years old. Like I remember being upset because I couldn't go outside and play with my friends because she was like, "If you want to learn, this is how you're gonna do it. This is how you're gonna do it." And then I being the crazy little kid that I was, I started messing things up.
But that's
Yeah,
from,
but on
from
purpose,
error
like, when you,
comes.
like-
Yes, on purpose.
Yeah, you're
so I
trying
could
to-
go outside and play.
Oh, you're like, if I'm bad at this, you won't make me do
Well,
it.
she would get upset. She'd be like, "Get out of my kitchen."
Oh,
So
okay.
that's where my passion for it kind of developed, and then I started cooking in restaurants when I was like 15 years old.
Now your mom is Haitian, or
Yes.
yeah, and so
Both of my parents.
Is your
some of-
dad Haitian too?
Both of my parents.
and so you grew up around the griot and pickles
Oh,
and
yeah.
things.
Don't cook it, but love that stuff.
Yeah,
Because I'm always like, I can't make it like she used to. Even though
Really?
I can't. Make
so
it
you
like
don't
she
even
used
try.
to. No,
Do you ever bring her in?
no, she passed away.
Oh,
She
I'm
passed away.
sorry.
She passed away.
All good. Well, it's not good when we lose parents, but
No,
it's
not
great.
at all. But you
But
know
it's
what?
great when
It
we
carries
honor
on.
their tradition.
It carries
and,
on because she loved to cook, and I learned it from her, and
and
I'm
as
still doing it to this
and
day. Like I
as-
said, I'm still making a
and
proud.
there's nothing better to carry on.
oh yeah,
exactly.
home cooked meal. Now, as someone who lost my mom earlier this year, I carry on her tradition of making reservations for the weekend. No, my mom was actually a good cook, but it was funny. She hit a certain age where I think when I went off to college, she said, "That's it, I'm done cooking, and now we're going out to eat or bringing in takeout food every
My
night."
mom was a good cook. My mom was a great cook. And then she hit 75.
Yeah.
And it was like she didn't care anymore
Right.
about cooking. And
Well, that's why we leave it to the pros, like
yeah,
Luke.
that's why we leave it to the pros.
So
Hopefully, I don't get like that when I'm at 75. I still
Long-
want to be
long
cooking.
way to go.
long
I know.
way to go. All right, what else do we got here? Because I wanted to give Tony
Yeah,
the
we
full.
got the famous conch chowder that we make. That's not too tomato-y.
I had
like to
that
say.
Saturday with Val, and I
amazing.
think it was the first time I had it, and
Yeah.
it was beautiful because, like you said, lots of flavor, but not too thick.
Not too thick. It got slight little kick to it that that cleansing the back of your throat. I like to say, but makes you want more. So
And Val's favorite part of it, apart from being delicious, no carrots.
Yeah,
So-
no
no,
carrots.
she hates when I always bring that up. That she cannot eat carrots.
her and I got that. It's not that I can't eat. I tried not to eat it.
No, that's all good.
Okay.
All right, so
Food
the
is
conch chowder is a sometimes menu item, right? And,
Sometimes whatever is super today.
And-
Sometimes it's that clam chowder. We
and
do a
Tony
nice
was
beef
asking because
chili.
he hasn't been in about that you do run specials and you have different things different
every day.
Yeah,
We have specials every day. Like we were speaking earlier. Like last week we had the oysters and crab, and we don't have them this week. So
no,
like
and that was so good. That's one of the other things we had was grilled oysters topped with lump crab meat and a what do you call it, like a scampi sauce. It was so freaking good, Lubie.
Yeah, you showed pictures of
Oh
it.
yeah,
was
I
stoked
did
for
post
it.
pictures on the Let's Eat group. And the
yeah,
other
people were
thing,
coming in asking. I'm like, we out.
Yeah.
What is this?
That is our house salad.
this is in honor of
basically-
you, Defo. Since you're not here today, we got a salad.
Onion, peppers, cucumbers, and then with a nice piece of grilled mahi, blackened mahi, on top of it.
You could
So
you
want
could
to eat something light? It's perfect.
you could tell this guy is
The
a
chopped of the vegetables.
trained chef by the way that he
He chops things
minces.
up.
What's the word? It's
Finely
it's
minced together.
yeah, it's
It's not
just,
meant. It's just like nice quarter-inch dice.
yeah,
so
and
it's just basically really
consistent, and it makes it just look really pretty.
What is this?
That is today is snapper and crab, and we do a fish and crab pretty much every day. And on top of it, we have pineapple and jalapeno cream sauce.
That's on the
We-
side. His
yeah.
sauces are so
We
good
change
and
those
balanced.
every day. Also,
Do you pick up the fish, inspect the fish yourself?
From your purveyors.
the whole fish. No, we usually bring them in, and then once it comes in, we usually get fillets. Every now and then we'll bring a whole fish. If we're doing a full snapper fillet, we'll bring like a 2-pound snapper, and then we'll debone them. But like this is a lane, so they're usually a lot bigger. So I'm not
Lane
spending.
snapper. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a good
They're
hour
sweet.
and a half
Yeah, having the
breaking
big
that big one.
fillet,
That's so we
yeah.
bring a nice fillets.
Yeah, and the
Amazing.
thing, Tony, is as a former chef, former working on the east side of town, he has developed relationships with all the
Yes,
different fishmongers, purveyors.
Oysters.
You
So
know,
we have good relationship with all those guys to get our products in.
so he gets good fresh
This is
product.
fabulous.
Tony, I want you to take a piece of that fish. I'm going to actually put a piece on a little plate here. Actually,
Let me know what you think of the sauce.
and I will kind of just chop that there. Get a little sauce there on top. I put a little lemon on it. There you go, my man. This is guest of honor today,
Awesome.
Tony Segreto, the local
legendary.
legend. When the Dolphins were still winning Super Bowls, he was there,
We're winning playoff games at least.
or at least playoff games. How long has it been, Luke?
It's been over 20 years.
I think it
20
was.
years. I don't remember that far back.
It was the
been
2001
short.
It's been
season.
over 20 years.
It's been a long time.
Listen, all
And-
I know is I was watching the game, like I said I knew the result on Sunday. I'm like, I would not do Lunchbox this week if we lose.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
really?
They
No,
will
really?
just wreck me.
No, look.
He really was saying that on Saturday
was
when I
saying
saw. He
that.
says,
Really?
if they lose this week, don't
Oh,
talk to
my
me.
God.
We
Oh
screwed
my
around a
God,
lot,
this
but
is
they won.
delicious.
Oh no, he
Glad you like it.
This is delicious.
Nice, light, flavorful.
Oh.
It is.
But that's the one thing, like from what we've gotten from what you do, even dishes that can be heavy, you do a really good job at. I don't know if I want to say bringing it down because the flavors are always pronounced
Yeah,
and
we
there,
focus
but
on
it's
flavor.
not. You don't feel like ugh,
And
you know, like you
that's the
just
two
are
things we
eating
focus on
for
here.
enjoyment, not eating
Correct.
to be full out of your
Correct.
mind and go to sleep for the next 6 hours.
You know how uncomfortable it is if you
I
leave a
can't stand it.
restaurant
Oh
after
my
you
God.
sat down for 30, 45 minutes. You get, oh my God, I can feel everything. Like we do not want that. We want you to come in and enjoy a nice meal, a nice glass or bottle of wine, and once you leave here, you're like, you know what, we could do this again if we wanted to.
Hey, speaking of wine, you've got it's a Wednesday
Oh, it is
and
Wednesday.
Thursday
That is
half
correct.
price, half off bottles of
Half
wine
price bottles of wine,
promotion.
yes.
And it's not just Wine Down Wednesday; it's Thirsty Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday, because if you can't make it on Wednesday, come on down on Thursday.
So
Get some great food to go with it.
One more reason to come out here
Exactly.
because, and like you said, when we had our Saturday meal, we got in here. It was probably like 2 or 3. It was like a later lunch.
You were right in between the gap.
And what do we call it? Dinner, supper, something like
Yes.
that. But
Supper.
we had a nice half dozen raw oysters, so beautiful. Those from Massachusetts, and then we had a little conch chowder that we split. We had the grilled oysters with the crab meat. We had jambalaya. And after that, we weren't weighed down. We said we still have room for dessert, and he brought out the bread pudding. And but it was one of those things where we just practically floated out. You don't feel uncomfortable or stuffed.
No, you don't.
Even with the bread pudding
Even with the
dessert.
bread pudding.
And this is a place. I mean, I just tasted just this, and
Yeah.
this is a place I want to come back to
Right.
tonight,
And
tomorrow.
aren't you saying, Tony, I'm such an idiot? What took me so long? Why didn't I listen to Mike Mayo
You know what?
sooner?
You know what? I was just saying that.
line.
Tony, what's wrong with you?
No, but I have that reaction. A lot of places that have been around for maybe like a year or 3 years that you've driven past and you haven't gone in.
True.
And then you finally go in and you said, what took me so long?
What took you so long to get
Why
there?
I've been missing this all these months? And that's the kind of reaction I had my first visit here.
One of it feels like people are, like you're saying, I don't want to say finding you, but someone posted on Let's Eat, it was like last week, really, I'm new to South Florida, I'm in the Broward area, I want a great restaurant to go to, and a lot of people had already posted, and I went to jump on, I'm starting naming places, and before I can even name Luke's, like 5 different people named Luke's. I'm like, good, like I loved seeing that. Like
We're starting to get there. Like especially with the Let's Eat group, like those guys, I'm very thankful to those guys. You know, they love us on there. They love what it is that we're doing, our service.
For me, it's a love-hate relationship, but
You're
for
Mike
you,
Mayo.
it's been mostly love. Yeah.
You're Mike Mayo. You know, the service we're putting out to compliment the food. So we're proud of what it is that we're
That's
doing.
good. Why don't we take our first break, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the upcoming holidays, you guys' schedule, and all that
You
stuff.
open Thanksgiving?
Anything special?
No.
No
we're
Thanksgiving.
not good for you.
These mom and pops, like, I'm guessing that you're going to be closed Christmas Day,
That is correct.
Christmas Eve, open
And
until
you close earlier.
Christmas Eve will probably be open all day.
Okay.
We'll close on Christmas and
Hey,
we're
for
closing
those
on New Year's.
like Tony who have the Feast of the Seven Fishes, you could get the whole job done right here. Sit down on Christmas Eve and just order the whole menu.
Yes, sir.
That sounds
Come
like
get
a
you some
good
stone
idea.
crabs. You know, because the next day you're probably
Yeah.
cooking. So just
Yeah.
come sit down, relax, have a glass of wine, some stone crabs, some nice dinner.
Sounds
We
like
get ready for the next day.
Sounds like a great idea. All right. Before we take the first break, Tony, I got to tell you, if you're looking for a last-minute holiday gift, something that's a stocking stuffer for the food lover in your life, visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. It's coming up right after the holidays. Hard to believe, less than 2 months away, January 13th through 19th, all throughout the greater Fort Lauderdale area. Phil and Kate, they are working hard to put on an event that's bigger and better than ever, but also the right size. There's more events, but each of those events, they don't oversell them. It's not too crowded. Not long lines at every food stall or libation station. Go online to vlfoodwine.com. That's VL, like visit lauderdalefoodwine.com, and get your tickets today. And here's an added bonus for Lunchbox viewers. Use the promo code Lunchbox to get an extra 15% savings off of the big signature events. That's the Wednesday cocktail event, Thursday Asian theme walk and roll, Friday barbecue competition, Saturday grand tasting, Sunday a new brunch event. And those 5 events, you could get the Lunchbox discount. Just type in Lunchbox in the promo code when you get your tickets online. VLFoodWine.com. Don't miss it.
Look, do you guys get involved in any of these events? Like it feels
Not
like
yet.
are you open to it? Because it feels like you got. I know you have a lot going on, and I know they're an undertaking, but it feels like you guys would fit perfectly with any of the things. The grand tastings, I know you used to do a brunch. The brunches are a brand new event, so it feels like you guys would fit right in with this if you could find the time.
We'll take a look.
We're gonna have to.
We got to get you in.
I don't want to
Phil.
promise under deliver.
I have thoughts and ideas, but
Good
I'll
for
do
you.
it
Good for you.
after the show. He'd be a perfect fit with the Sunday brunch
Right?
new event with some of his shrimp and grits or some other things. But we'll talk.
We'll talk.
We're gonna have more Mike Mills Lunchbox from Luke's Seafood and Grill. Good food, good mood. After this.
It's a little further inland, Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. Serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Freshest Fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining, and they are now featuring a monthly lamb roast brunch on the first Sunday of every month. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com.
Caught me with my mouth full again. How does it happen every single day?
What is the
Surrounded by
deal with
delicious
that?
food. That's
What
what
is the
man
deal
love
with
food.
that?
I just love this jambalaya. I just stuck a forkful with a shrimp, the sausage, the andouille sausage, and a piece of chicken, and I call that the Holy Trinity. That's some good stuff.
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
Yeah, there you go. We are in the land of flavors and seafood and just a beautiful medley of
Yes, sir.
everything
This is
with
something.
Luke at Luke's Seafood and Grill in Davie, 5511 South University Drive. It's in between Griffin Road and Sheridan Street.
Sterling.
Sterling. I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind.
Yes, Sterling and Griffin.
And
You're
yeah.
right behind the car wash.
behind the car wash next to University Dodge, you'll see the big Luke sign outside, and
Yep.
you'll see Luke and Roxy inside.
We'll be here.
People let's see, somebody the other day was asking for like good mom and pops, and I gave a couple of, like, to me the definition of mom and pop is kind of a small independent restaurant run by a couple, husband
facts.
and wife, and
Or a little family.
yeah, and of course I mentioned Luke's right away. I also mentioned the Catherine because Marissa and Timon, obviously Timon, renowned chef. Do you know the Catherine and those
Yes.
guys? Yeah,
Been there.
and I consider it a
Nice.
mom and pop, even though it's it's a little bit I guess more
Elevated.
in a fancier part of town.
Mhm.
But yeah, what do you think of mom and pops, and what are the struggles of mom and pops?
It's the number one thing is getting yourself out there, you know, with the advertising and which is why a community like Let's Eat is great, you know, because like when you go to the big corporation, like if there's 2 or 3 of them out there, people like know them just for being the big name. But when you're so much smaller, you know, you have limited advertising dollars to put. Where you're going to allocate those funds to kind of get your name out there. So
Does the Let's Eat South Florida alone bring in people?
oh, it helped tremendously because it's the old word of mouth thing, and it's not just to use your old stomping ground, Channel 6 or Channel 4, telling you about them. It's your neighbor, it's your
Actual
consumer.
people.
It's
the
the
actual
new-
people
Nothing to
that's
gain,
dying
quote,
here.
unquote,
It's
You
the
know what I mean?
new
That-
grassroots word of
Yeah.
mouth in that it's a community online. And what I like about the group is because you have, a professional critic or a former critic or whatever you want to call me. I'm not I like to think of myself as an expert, but I'm just one more subjective voice. But then you have all these other people who come in and also give their opinions, and then you get this consensus. And unlike Yelp, which can be unfair
Very
and
true.
extortionist, but you don't have to say it. I just said very true. But and here, on Yelp, it's like the owner or the chef is left to defend himself on his own, and nobody really can have his back because he can't chime in and respond. But here on the Let's Eat group, if somebody takes a shot that's a unfair, cheap shot, other people on the group, it doesn't even have to fall on the restaurant owner to be the heavy. Sometimes it's me, and sometimes it's other members of the group who've come to a restaurant. I've had a great experience, and they say, "I don't know what happened that night,
Yes,
but that's completely different to what."
But what I love the most about that group is the bad also.
Yeah.
Because the bad gives the opportunity for the people that had a great meal to say what you just said.
yes.
Hey, I was there that night.
Yep.
This is the reason for
Specify it,
X. You know what I mean? Like I love the balance, but like
Right.
they all used to say, talk good, talk bad, just talk.
How many seats do you have in here?
We have 24 inside and 24 outside.
Cozy.
So
We call this
perfect time of year for outside.
Yeah, the
seating. So,
weather's been
yeah,
And
a lot of people.
your
sitting
wife
outside
said
inside.
you do takeout
Yes.
about half as much, or
Yes, we do a good amount of takeout. You could go on our website, order online, so you don't have to call in and deal with us. You could just go right on there. And we do also delivery, not through us, but through a partnership, for people in the area.
Nice.
So
Okay.
we're finding new ways to, get our food
Get the
out to
food out.
people.
How
Because
does
we believe in it.
how does the food travel? I imagine the jambalaya is really easy because it kind of stays together and holds that flavor. But some of the other more delicate items, maybe the fish and
Because I love what it is that we do here. I always tell people our food is best served when you're in.
Yeah,
the
so I was
restaurant.
gonna say, I feel like
You
you
know,
are.
Exactly. But if you
warning.
can't come in, Scoobies are much better in the restaurant they are at home, but the flavor travels.
what are
right.
sc-
Oh, this brings us to a Tony
you haven't
question.
explained.
what
the
are
Scooby.
Scoobies?
Snow crab pinchers, basically what a claw is. We shave off the shell, leave the meat out, and then take some olive oil, a little crushed red pepper, garlic. We bring all that to a boil, and then we put the crab meat in there. Like I could explain it to you, like you could, but tasting them
fantastic.
is a whole
It's really
different level.
It's something that you
Gotta come in with
could
your wife. You and your wife
experiment
will
and
enjoy it.
try when you come
Yes.
in
Yeah,
for
it's
your
the
first
number one
That's
thing.
what you
proper
serve
dinner.
Now you don't serve bread here.
Nope. Because there's so many great things for you to try here when you come. Starting with a Scoobies,
That's what I
which is
love
our
about
starter.
this place.
Yeah,
because
and-
they don't serve bread.
Yeah, it's like
Don't fill up on bread.
you start off with a great bowl of conch chowder or a Scooby or a coconut shrimp. Like you have great starters.
And you
and
do the
then go
comfort
into
bowls
salads.
every week too, so you
There's
can try
so
different
many
things.
different
Yep.
stuff. I don't want you to come in here, sit down, and fill up on a loaf of bread and don't get to try the other good stuff.
That's nice. Look, you are doing a bang up job, and it takes time to build that brand awareness.
Like I said,
that people know.
I've
That,
been in this business and I've been cooking since I was 15. So
yeah,
You've been here a year and a half.
a year and a
Year
half.
and a
So
half.
You
since-
plan on being here another 5 years?
I plan on being here for as long as I can.
Yeah,
be
how
here.
is it? This location? It feels like it works for you guys. Like
It does, and plus the smallness of the restaurant, 24 seats.
you're not overwhelmed.
It's great because I just love to come out here and chat with our guests. We don't call them customers; we call them guests.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
we're so small because we feel like you're a guest in our home.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you will see me on the floor. I will drop your plate and I will have a conversation with you. If you have a question about the food, which way you're leaning, I'll come out here and have a conversation about it too. So I just love that part of it. So it fits us.
We asked about Thanksgiving, closed. We asked about
Yes.
Christmas, open Christmas Eve, closed Christmas Day. What's the New Year's plan?
We are closed on New Year's.
New Year's Eve and New Year's Day?
No,
or New Year's
just
Eve?
New Year's Day. You know what?
Okay.
Like I said, I've been doing this forever. Like every restaurant I've worked in, always open on New Year's Day, and I'm like,
They
you know
do
what?
no business. Yeah. And it's
Exactly.
like, why are we here?
Exactly.
Everybody's
'Cause
hungover.
Exactly.
And
Everybody
watching
the
football.
night before, and everybody's just sitting here, just like, where the people at? I'm like, getting over the hangover.
There you go. Hey, before we take our next break, I do have to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. I can't believe it's just 8 days away.
Ways.
And I've got several options for you from some of our sponsors. You've got, first of all, if you're the do-it-yourself type that loves to cook a big, full holiday meal at home with friends and family, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market right over there on State Road 7 and Sterling Road in Hollywood, 4191 North State Road 7. You know them. They've been in business over 60 years. They get the fresh farm-raised turkeys in by the truckload for Thanksgiving, and you got to order them now. Get them in advance, but you could order whatever size you need. Again, that's at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. DelawareChicken.com is the website. If you want to have something that's a pre-made turkey that you could pick up and go, 2 options. We've got Even Kale Fish Shack in Lauderdale by the Sea is doing their grab and go that you can pick up the day before and then reheat it and make a really tasty holiday feast. Or the day itself, Thanksgiving, Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap. I believe Luke and Roxy had a meal recently, but
Oh, you guys did get out there.
yeah,
Now
but
we gotta talk about it.
they are doing a fried turkey dinner with all the fixings that serves 8 to 10 people, $270, and you pick it up the day of Thanksgiving, I believe between 11 and 3. You go online to batchnewsouthernkitchen.com. Just click on the fried turkey dinner tab, and you could make your order today, pick up Thanksgiving, and then have people over to your house without all the prep and the cooking. And then finally, if you want to just go in and have a meal, well, there's several options, including Taverna Kima up in Boca Raton. And, of course, our friend Eddie at Prezzo.
Yeah, they're
2
open.
Prezzo locations will be open Thanksgiving Day. I'd say Tropical Acres, but
No,
they're
booked.
fully
There's
booked.
no room for them.
You could go in there on Black Friday if you want.
I would still call them.
Well,
No,
if you
they-
tell them that you know me personally, Tony,
They're gonna hang up the phone.
maybe. Yeah, they'll hang up the phone twice as fast. No,
No, but you know
sometimes
what?
they could squeeze in a couple of singles if you tell them.
Cancel and
Yeah, you
know.
never
Jack said they
know.
leave a little bit. We were
They
there
leave
this
a
week. Said
little
they leave room
wiggle
for
room.
walk-ups, but if you're coming with
Yeah.
don't be one of the people that have 15 people and
Oh,
expecting now the week before.
Yeah.
They've said that they are full in that regard.
So I think I've covered all the bases. We hope
And Gulfstream will be there Friday,
Oh,
but they
thank
are
you.
doing for your earlier risers. If you want something before
Like
your
a
own thing,
Thanksgiving
11 to
supper.
3, they're doing
Yeah, they're doing
their,
a proper turkey
not brunch, their
buffet
Thanksgiving
lunch
meal.
in that's coinciding with the opening day of the big
And the winter
champions meet. What they call their winter champions meet begins on Thanksgiving Day with a slate of races that begins at 11 a.m. and Joe Beja and the crew at 10 Palms. They're ready to take your whole family, and you
Seats
don't even have
500.
to. You don't have to. Oh, it seats more.
No,
It seats
700.
1,200.
No, they're gonna. He's
1,200.
expecting at least 500.
And they're only at 300. They're hoping to get 500
Yeah.
covers for Thanksgiving Day, and it's a wonderful thing because not only do you not have to shop, cook, clean up, you're at a table betting on horses, and if there's any relatives that you really don't want to be talking to, you can just get up and leave and go home. So true. There you go. All right, let's take that second break. Luke, thank you for your patience. Thanks for the food, but we're going to still continue. We got to talk some sports.
We do.
Yes, gotta talk some sports.
With Tony Segreto. We do. We'll have a meeting of the
We're on
sports
our way to the
minds.
playoffs.
You know, I used to be a sports columnist too.
Yes.
Nobody remembers those days.
Let's take the break.
Don Shula remembers. All right, take a break.
Is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, we're back
At
on
Luke's.
the Lunchbox at Luke's. This is Luke. This is Tony. And now it's time for sports talk.
Good food and good mood.
Good. I'm in a great mood.
I'm in a great mood too.
Let's make
One
a
put you
new
in the
shirt.
other.
Great food, great mood.
We're
Has
working
that
our
been-
way there.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
Going
I'm
for
a
the generation.
Mike Mayo's officially going to change. First, you could go. Well, you don't even. You could skip very good. You could
Just go straight
great
to
from
great.
good to great.
We're working our way there.
I love this stuff. I love it. And this is my second meal here this week. Conch chowder, solid. That salad, I need more salad in my life, but you put a nice fresh piece of fish on it.
About as light as you get.
Makes everything good. All right, you want to start with the good, the bad, or the ugly in college? Well, let's start with the Canes, okay? We were talking a little bit earlier before you came on. This is not a season-ending loss for the Canes, but it's certainly one that would look like it was coming, right?
No, with the way the 12-team playoff and everything is now, I don't know if we talked about it when you was here for lunch. I think it was a needed loss.
Right.
You
You
think it was a
did
what?
say that.
A needed loss.
Yes.
Like
Because
necessary.
Oh,
Kicking
yeah.
the pants.
I love the quarterback, but the one thing I've learned watching football, all my life is running one way and throwing back across the middle is never a good idea.
He's
That's what
a,
he does.
a
That's
once in
what
a
he
lifetime
Can
thrower.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks he can make that cut.
Yes.
You like to see the confidence.
And they
but
tell him they tell him over and over again, don't make that throw. And he ignores it.
that's another sign of a good quarterback. Stubbornness and like just keep going at it. But Marino, like if you told him
Marino.
he didn't try to make the tackle after the pick six.
One
He just tried
He
to
understood
throw
how
a
valuable he was.
touchdown
One
when he
Sunday-
got the ball back. Yeah.
after a loss, it's just he and I sitting there, and he threw 4 interceptions. And I said, what do you think when you come to the bench, like what's going through your mind after the fourth interception? He says, you know what goes through my mind? Keep chucking it.
Yeah, next play.
Oh, that's what
I
he
knew that was
did.
coming.
Keep chucking it.
You know, the tone of your exchanges with Marino and mine seemed to be a little different.
Mike Mayo, Tony
When I would
Segreto.
approach him like one-on-one, you know, when I was a columnist at the Sentinel and he had thrown the 4 interceptions, and maybe my question wasn't phrased the most delicately because I would say, Dan, why were you forcing it to triple cover there, coverage on that third?
See, you got a
and he
finesse.
just would look me in the eye and say, "It is what it is."
You got a finesse. You got a finesse.
I know. I never learned the finesse game because I was going for the little punchy quote.
Yeah.
And sometimes I
New
need
York.
to punch a literal punch.
You
but-
were trying to be the creator of the hot take before the hot take.
exactly. I was ahead of my time, Luke. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, but back to those. I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
You know,
The question is that these guys asked on their morning sports show is why the heck is ESPN keep pushing them like they're in the bye top 4 spot when they are not even ahead of their conference right now? There is a top 4 bye slot that automatically is awarded to the ACC champion.
well, they're
and at this
either-
point, is
they're-
it going to be the Canes?
they're either tie or they're on first place because the only other team that should be ahead of them is Clemson.
Clemson.
That's it. And,
Right.
So
and Clemson has 2 losses, if I'm correct.
SMU's undefeated in conference.
If they
That's the
play-
thing.
if they
People keep
play
forgetting about
Clemson-
SMU.
Is Clemson undefeated in the conference?
No, Clemson has one
One
loss. in
loss,
conference.
just the same as the Canes.
Clemson's the same
Isn't
in the
this
conference record as
all moot? It's a moot
Exactly.
point. Mute
They
is.
have-
I'm thinking of
Just
Dave
get in the
Weinstein
dance.
always used to say mute
Mute.
instead of
Yes,
it's
he
a
did.
mute point because there is going to be an ACC champion,
There
and
will
that's
be.
the one that will go through.
what do you think? Who wins the game?
The
Clemson
ACC.
or Miami?
Miami.
Really?
I don't think that for a second. I think those by 2 to 3 scores.
Well,
I think it's Miami.
he's
Like the team with the best quarterback will win.
okay.
The team that Miami beats Clemson. You saw what happened when
That-
Clemson played Georgia.
Yeah,
Yes,
We
Georgia's another
kind
level
of forgot
ball.
about that. And
Okay.
that's because they had a great talent at quarterback on the other side. It's
Yeah.
it's easy to
I
beat
mean, they have
these.
better defense.
All right, we're gonna look.
Well,
This
see,
is
I
why
don't
we're
think they're
doing
going to
it.
even play Clemson, to be honest, so it wouldn't matter. Like, they'll probably play SMU. So.
This is why we play the games, and
Listen,
again, we'll have
We
resolution.
have waited 20
a
years
couple
for
of
this
weeks.
year, so I'm
no,
not
no,
backing
you
down
should
on this
enjoy
year.
it. Yeah, you should enjoy it.
All right,
Now,
we'll see.
you remember back when the Kosar and Testaverde were the quarterbacks?
Testaverde in '86 was probably my earliest kind of memory with the fatigues
But
going to play Penn State.
that was the Jimmy Johnson
Yes.
era, and then came the Erickson. I guess you were around for all
yeah.
those
Oh
titles.
yeah,
Yes, those were the days. And getting back to the Dolphins, here we are. They might be a 500 team again by Thanksgiving Day if they beat the next 2 teams in the next
They should
whatever it
beat
is
the
8
Patriots.
days.
They
Yeah.
should
they
beat-
should, but that's why we play the games, like you just said, Tony. But the game I'm looking for that team to tell me if okay, we real it's the Green Bay game, and it's be great to win it, but it can't be one of those games where we play like we play
On the
against
road,
Buffalo.
Thanksgiving
Agreed.
Day, a
Agreed.
big national audience.
but-
This is the type of thing where the Dolphins could try to make a statement and say,
Agreed.
we're back, we're in the hunt.
I just want to see some tough football from them.
Yeah.
I want to see
It's
Tua
gonna
play
be-
smart.
It's going to be tough because they're playing on Sunday and then they're playing on Thursday.
Quick turnaround and then a tough road thing,
But-
and we don't know the weather yet up there.
Like Mike McDaniel said, every game is a playoff game now.
Yes, no,
So-
every game is 100%.
You got to show up.
Now, you have been the Dolphin optimist.
Yeah, yes.
So is Tony, is the eternal optimist. Me, sometimes I tend to go to the pessimistic side of the street. I was writing off the Dolphins, but they do look like a different team with Tua at
Yes,
home.
yes.
And is that what gave you hope all
Yes,
along? Yeah.
yes. There's too much talent on. This is probably the most talented Dolphin team I've seen since 1992.
Nice. Well,
So it's a really talented team on both sides of the ball.
Achane, or however you pronounce his name, he's looking good.
Yes, he is. He
And
is.
the new receiver, what's his
No,
name?
Achane. I'm like Achane.
Achane.
Achan.
No, but
H-
what-
Achane.
The running
Achane.
back, yes. And OB, it's funny, they are working in OBJ, and he's giving them that, and Jonnu Smith.
That's what I was going to
who
say.
I've been
Those
waiting
two are
on them
the-
to use,
But those two are the key to the offense.
and it's opened up Tyreek and it's opened up
Exactly.
Waddle.
Exactly. I'm so happy that John had a big game, this past week, especially with that
Well,
big wide
especially
open
with Tua.
touchdown.
Yep.
Because you over here putting 4 people on Tyreek.
Yep.
You can't keep doing that, or we're going to keep using.
Well,
this
and
all
the interesting thing is,
offense.
even when the runs, because they had 2 or 3 weeks in a row where they were running the hell out of the ball, and the last couple of weeks they haven't run it as well. But I like the McDaniel staying with it either
Mhm.
way. Like you can't just sit here and chuck it 50 times a game with Tua because eventually behind that line, he's going to get hit. The way they're getting the ball out of his hands and mixing up the run, it's really keeping defenses off of Tua
And you
outside
gotta
of
get
him
AJ in the
tackling an
ball.
interception.
But the way they get it out of his hands so quick,
Yes.
they're only throwing 5-7 yard passes.
Yes, it's been very
They got to
impressive.
throw one down the field just to keep everybody
Well,
honest.
they had a couple, like Dan Orlovsky was breaking down on X the other day. It was like, when Tua threw the ball 20 yards downfield before Tyreek even get out of the break, because those will start opening up again with
Yep. You got to
them
take
throwing those
shots.
little quick outs with a chain. Like you pump that and that 20-yard seam is open. So hopefully we see more as the season
Right,
continues.
they're getting into the X's and O's here. I mean, this has got to be. Look at this: Tony Segreto, Luke.
He's a knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, no,
I tried.
he's a passionate sports
Hey,
fan. He's a
That's the
passionate
two
chef.
things:
And man, has this been a fun time?
food and
today.
football.
Food, football, friends, fun. That's why Thanksgiving is the best holiday. Of
I
all.
agree. My favorite by far.
Before we take the third and final break and let you go, I hate to bring up bad things, but the McRib is coming back to McDonald's soon. And this is a point that, as a food writer and critic, and believe me, I have my guilty pleasures. I love Skyline Chili, and I will defend that to the hilt. But there is no defense for the McRib. But I'm planting my opinions. Have you ever had one? And
I've never had one.
oh, well, that
Have you
is
ever had a McDonald's?
Oh, he's
Yes.
had McDonald's. Come on,
Yes.
Tony.
No, you've
Well, I
I've
have-
never had
we're in
McRib.
America.
I've never had a McDonald's.
Even RFK Jr. has had
Listen,
McDonald's.
still to this day, after a long day, I would stop, get me a McChicken and a small fry.
Okay. Have you
Small
had the
chicken
chicken
That'd
Big
be like a
Mac?
move for me.
No.
It's
No,
terrible.
horrendous.
I'm a
Don't
McChicken
have
guy.
that.
The
I
last
like
time I
McChicken
had
too, that's fine.
McDonald's was 30 years ago.
Really?
And
Good for
look
you.
and look at you
And
and
that's
look at
why
me.
you
The
look like
last time I had it was when we had the chicken Big Mac, which was, by the way,
one of the worst things I've ever had in my
putrid, but
life.
McDonald's every
I don't
year,
like
and it has a cult following. But every November they
How do you feel
reintroduce.
about it? Fill us in.
Oh, he hates it.
So I had never eaten one, or maybe I did in childhood and just repressed the memory for a long time. But when we started the Lunchbox, when Defo and I started it, and it was on only the radio at that point, we weren't streaming, and we brought in a McRib to the station. It wasn't on video, but he remembers the sight of me. Basically, I ate a McRib on the air and gave a live critique, and he said my face turned greener and greener. It's an unbelievably bad combination of flavors that don't mix, along with ingredients that are not even of any kind of origin that a human being can determine. The McRib itself, it's not actual pork. It's a pork-like substance. I don't know. They put it through a blender, the bones.
How do you
the
feel
gristle.
about it, though?
It's so bad.
How do
Okay,
you really feel about it?
Tony,
Supposedly, I wasn't there, but Devo, he
You
took
can-
like one bite and then he was like sick.
Do you not like it?
not only do I not like it, like if somebody offered me a vast sum of money, I would still take the money. But I always like
Now I'm
asking.
gonna have to try one.
Right, and that's what I did.
Should we try it here?
I put it on the
No,
group.
not
No,
here.
we're going to spare the
Not
viewers
here.
that
I
say.
might need to work for the rest of the day.
We do have a home show next Monday,
I will-
and if
if
the
it's
rib,
there,
if
I will be
McRib
down to
is
get one
out,
myself,
I think
please.
November 25th is the day they're talking, which is Monday. So we might do a
I'm down to
live
do it as well.
critique. Me and
I haven't
Lubie
had it in years. I
did
used
it
to
with
not
the
mind
chicken
it.
Big Mac.
Okay, so I'm gonna get one before our next show, and
Oh,
I'll
you'll
let
give
And then
me
you can give us your
your
opinion.
professional opinion.
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
I'll get one before the next show here too.
It has pickles. It has a very thick, very sweet, gloppy
It's
sauce.
come in a sandwich.
It's boneless, but it's not like any kind of comes from any kind of animal that you recognize.
that's the
Supposedly
intriguing
pig.
part to me.
Yeah, it's well, you know how like chicken McNuggets are not really
Yes.
chicken. It's like I call it chicken particulate,
Yes,
kind of like woodboard or something. But the McRib is something entirely different. It's like a plasma sheet. I'm trying to figure it out. It's like when you get a sheet.
You know
that
that
has-
barbecue rib? Like in
I
in
always
school, we had
assumed it was
barbecue
like a
rib.
pulled pork sandwich.
No,
that was
no.
always my assumption.
In school, you never had the barbecue rib? Like when I was growing up, we had
No.
barbecue rib at school lunch. And that was not the worst. The McDonald's one is worse.
Oh my
And
god!
that's what it is. It's
But
just
they
a
used to
barbecue rib.
use like a real rib thing.
I
Now
think
it's
they
just
did,
like
yes,
a.
in school.
I think it's a
McDonald's now.
lab-grown pig or something. But it mystifies me.
I'm intrigued.
All right, yeah, no, and it's so
So am
bad.
I.
Like some people find it so bad that they actually enjoy it once a year, just to remind them how much better they have it
bad
the
it can
other
get.
364
But for
days.
every person that doesn't like it, there are 150 or 200.
Oh, no, it's like a
Yeah,
big deal.
because it's still
Love it.
coming back.
People love it. It's like
This
a
is
weird cult
America.
classic thing. yeah.
Never underestimate the, or is it never overestimate the
Overestimate.
taste of? All right, but we're here for good taste.
Yes.
This is great.
And
Thank you, Tony.
talking about great taste and impeccable elegance, Casa D'Angelo is coming up to holiday season and white truffle season. White truffle's a food vice of yours? Do you know that?
No,
You
not for
think-
me at all.
Okay, because
I'm not a big truffle guy.
all right, black truffles to me overrated, not worth the money. But the white truffles of Elba, which is what the season we're in now, they're going to be having a couple of special wine dinners with white truffle dishes
Oh,
at
very nice.
the four different dinners over the 4 dates in December at 3 different locations. At the Fort Lauderdale flagship, December 4th and 19th, and then it's going to be at the Aventura location December 17th, Boca December 10th. Go online to casadangelo.com to get your reservations for those great white truffle dinners, and then of course they're available for throughout the holidays. Great family meals if you want to have a private function or a holiday a party. Just get in touch with Casa D'Angelo. Go on the website, and there is some information there. It's a great place, the finest quality Italian food, impeccable service, and great wine. Casa D'Angelo, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, and Aventura. All right, let's take the final break. We'll wrap up this edition from Luke's Seafood
Thank you,
and
Luke.
Grill
Thank you,
in
guys.
Davie, Florida. Thanks, man.
Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First class dining, top flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. A sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, we're back, and that's it, Tony. We got through it.
This has been fantastic.
I'm glad
If-
you enjoyed.
yeah,
I'm glad to turn people that appreciate good food
Yeah, that's
to
one-
a good local mom and pop spot that and again for you it's
Yeah, this has
skipping
gotta
a
be close
jump,
to you
right?
guys.
It's-
if you live in Davie, even if you don't, if you like a good fish, and just
if you live in Davie, if you live in Plantation, if
Tamarack,
you live
I mean,
in parts
it's
of
worth-
Pembroke
River
Pines,
City,
if
it's
you,
worth your
Weston,
try.
Weston, I mean, it's
even,
very
Miramar,
accessible,
Pembroke
very
Pines,
easy to get to from whether it's 595 or the Turnpike exit.
It's right behind the car wash and
Yeah.
right next to the University Dodge. You can't miss it.
It's
It doesn't. You don't see it from the road though.
we love Luke and Roxy. They do a terrific
They,
job.
they're just great.
They will see you out here for dinner 6 days a week. Well, actually, no dinner on Sunday. It's closed on Monday. They are open from 11 to 4 p.m. Sunday. They kind of have, they don't call it a brunch, but it's like an early, if you want to have a nice seafood lunch, very hearty, very good. Again, I could personally attest to that because I was in here over last weekend and we had just really satisfying good stuff. All right, Tony. And I didn't even mention I got another new shirt
Yeah,
today.
You look
I
nice.
noticed it.
Love the
You
attire.
get new shirt, new pants.
Part of the Mayo fall collection.
now,
You know me. I only go twice a year food
now,
shopping.
what's the third
clothes
shirt?
shopping.
Like I see the
Oh, I'm
third.
gonna be
He
breaking
wore one
them out.
yesterday. You missed the
And-
other one. It was nice. It wasn't the red.
It
It was
the
like
red,
a nice blue.
I had the
Blue?
red Italian tablecloth at Gulfstream last week. Now I had the blue one. I have this one is kind of more
Look
on the
nice.
black, and
I'm proud of
I
you.
will be debuting more shirts and one ugly sweater when the weather gets really cold. Which they keep saying any
Friday
day now.
night.
Friday.
Now it's
Friday may be
Friday.
your
First
day.
it was Wednesday.
no.
Then it was Thursday. I tell you what. You know what? Musk and the efficiency department fire all the weathermen, and not just the government weathermen, the ones that are on TV and radio, and the one that's in my phone.
He
For 4
blames,
weeks,
He
I've been-
blames the weatherman.
Yeah,
I've been hearing it's cold front's coming. I woke out this morning. It's 84 degrees with high humidity. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. I said, "What the?" It's
I
like,
wearing a long sleeve.
and now it's Friday. Friday supposedly.
Supposedly
It's
go
going to be
all the way down in the 60s.
60s.
Ooh, no, it's supposed to be 49 one night.
Supposedly
I heard.
50s. Yeah.
But that's if the weathermen and weather people are to be
Call
trusted.
it.
All right, man, I've had enough.
So we're back at Gilbert's tomorrow, right?
We are at Gilbert's tomorrow. I
Nice.
confirmed with Beth this morning. Looking
Nice.
forward to
Been a
getting
while.
some abuse from Lenore. 'Cause gotta keep me honest, folks. All right, to Luke and Roxy.
You guys are the
Roxy, you
best.
gonna come
Roxy,
on this
thank
time? Just one little say hi. This is the running joke. She never wants to come on the screen. She's
just
very,
show
very
your
shy.
face.
All right, we're gonna do it next month.
Yes.
I promise. Until next time, we'll see you tomorrow at Gilbert's. Enjoy every fish, salad, jambalaya, and enjoy every sandwich.
He's putting